Is the laundry done?
Yep, check.
Towels folded?
Yep.
Shirts pressed?
Yep.
Groceries bought?
Yep.
Dinner prepared?
Yep.
Paramania Radio turned on? Well?
Uh-oh.
Don't let this happen to you. Paramania's here. Join us at paramaniaradio.com.
So it's Monday.
Yeah.
And what do we always do on Monday?
Well, duh. We go there.
Where at?
Paramania? What? How long you been doing this?
Well, long enough, but we need to let other people know.
I know you'd be like,
this is Teresa, and please come join us for Sit, Chat, and Laugh with the Ranchos. Jay will
and
make
this
you
is
laugh.
Jay. Hey, y'all, this is Big Dumb Redneck. Come listen to us here on ParamaniaRadio.com.
I'll get out my stones and my crystals and make you feel all tingly inside.
And I'm about as sensitive as a rock.
You are a rock.
Guess Sparty's one. What time?
7 to 9 p.m. Where are you at?
I'm right here. I'm
Why?
sitting next to you. You're looking at me.
I'm not like being in the studio with you. You do bad things.
Oh, no, not all the time. You guys come and listen to us.
I
on
would.
ParamaniaRadio.com.
I would, because she's funny.
Monday nights, 7 p to 9 p.
Eastern Daylight Time. ParamaniaRadio.com.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Paramania, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Paramania Radio.
You're listening to the Parasearch UK radio show with your hosts Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch, right here on Paramania Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Parasearch UK radio show. And, of course, I'm using the big mouth that starts it out because Carrie's like, I don't know. Want you to start it. Next week, you're going to start it, Carrie.
Oh, well, okay. I'll start it next week if you want, you know.
Wow.
I'll pro over here.
Welcome back, Carrie. It's so wonderful to get to talk with you again. I have missed you.
I miss you too.
Watch how we say that. And my wife is listening. She's right here with us in the studio.
I can hear you.
Uh-oh, somebody turn her mic off.
That's all right. That's all right.
How are you, Carrie?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you, T?
Doing fine. How was your vacation?
Really good, thank you. Yeah, it's. I need another one already.
That's pretty bad back on vacation before when you get back from vacation.
Teresa needs one too. After the last 2 weeks to put up with me and Rick together.
Wow, yeah.
And to think that he's moving just a couple blocks from us.
I know that's going to be so bad for you, but that's okay. There's always a home here. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be on my way, babe. I mean,
she wasn't talking to you, dear.
Nobody ever talked to me. Conversation.
I'll let you Skype him every night if you want, you know, to get your fix.
Oh my God. Rick is listening because somebody just joined the chat room on Paramania as Jalen's security.
Oh, that would be Rick.
That would either be Rick or Jason.
Oh, yeah. Rick just got home.
If I didn't love him like brothers, I'd hate him like friends. Oh, my God. You see what I got to put up with?
Well, you love it.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I do. It's a great time. They're good people.
It's so got to be Rick because you've been doing a trick on Rick all week, haven't you?
No. He started that shit. I played nice for 3 or 4 days. Kept saying, dude, you need to quit. You need to back off. You need to back off. And he did. And so last night I made this post about people tagging him in things, giving him attention and stuff. And to this day, people, if you're listening, if you're out there and you got Rick Rose as a friend on your thing or Richard Rose, either one, tag him often as you can and make him phone just light up so everybody knows how much you care about him. Don't let his phone go quiet. Don't let it stop. Because just let him know that he's so needed. And Giving them what they can.
He's needed. Of course he's needed.
Well, yeah, I need him. He keeps me entertained.
There's now one. This isn't Rick in the chat room.
No, I'm just saying if it is, it's like I said, it's either gonna be Rick or Jason.
Well, Jay Lynch Security is now known as This Isn't Rick.
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
I love you guys. I think you're awesome.
I knew it had to be Rick or Jason one. Has to
be. So you have got loads and loads coming up when Rick has finally moved, haven't you?
Oh my God, our schedule has that. Well, it was getting ready to explode anyway. Teresa and I and Jason were already heading in the direction that we were going to pick back up this year and get moving and stuff. And Rick getting back involved is just absolutely phenomenal because now we get to pick up all of our projects that we were been kind of on the wayside for the last year. We've got it's somewhere between 7 to 9 locations that we will be investigating and filming, and it's growing from there. We're actually added on a couple small events where we're going to do like at Ashmore we're going to do a 101, and then
and that's
an open
LAP.
investigation. That's with Lake Erie Paranormal 1, Jason, and we'll be doing the 101 there. Which then at night we'll go into an investigation stuff, and all the proceeds goes to the Lost Lambs Foundation. So it's something else we're doing for charity. We're in the talks now with another location down in southern Tennessee in October 27th. We'll get more details before I start naming names, all that stuff. But
more details will be coming.
Absolutely. We're going to be doing a paranormal roundtable and just have an open discussion with people and just try to promote that whole cooperative and working together. And we want to be doing it down there. And like I said, it'll be October 27th. It's an absolutely amazing location. More details will be coming once we get everything figured out and done and stuff. But it just we got some other things that we're working on like that. So we just it's boomed, and yeah, it's out of control.
Well, it seems that happens when we all get together.
It's a good thing, though.
I'm not saying it's not a good thing.
It's an amazing thing when you get a group of people that just you have that energy explosion between you. It's got to be a good thing.
Oh, it is. And then, like I said, with not only with Lake Erie Paranormal, but with us being also members of Paravisions Paranormal. Excuse me. Rick is also now a member of that. He joined the team this past weekend when he met Lee and Patty and everybody else. So, and me and Jason and Lee are the ones that started talking about and doing this. We've been working on this co-op thing for about 6-7 months. We just announced it when Lee was on, Jason was on the show with on our Sit, Chat, and Laugh night on Monday nights. This coming Monday night, or when Jason was on there, this coming Monday night, we'll have Lee on. So we're really going to get on to it even more. And then we'll probably give a couple weeks, and the three of us will be on together. But we're really trying to build off of that. And we've already had 3 or 4 teams already ask, and actually not asked, to say, hey, we want to be a part of it. And we've already...
It's just growing.
Yeah, we've already got 3 or 4 more teams that's joined it. We started out here in Southern Ohio. We're now up to... We got 2 people in Canada. We got Detroit, Michigan, and more wanting to come on board to do the whole thing.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, it's just it's building momentum like crazy, and it's almost scary. I'm like, why the hell are you guys listening to what I'm saying? Are you stupid?
Well, you've obviously got something very important to say, and the universe is obviously making it happen. So that's an amazing thing. If we could do the same thing in the UK, that'd be even more awesome. In fact, that is, to be fair, it's kind of a trend that's starting to grow. Teams working with each other. How fantastic is that?
It's wonderful. It really is. And DPX has joined on with us. Like I said, Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, Todd Bonner and
Jeff Atkins.
And Jeff Atkins and Stephanie Hutnick and all of them. And they're a wonderful addition to it. And we got some locations we're going to be working with them up in Detroit, and we will be doing some live things with that and stuff and putting it out.
Yeah.
And Tina and with PO3, the girls of PO3 have joined in with us. So we have Tina and Brandy and Margie, and that they're wonderful gifts and abilities and stuff. They're working with it. And it's just growing. I mean, it's 6 teams strong already, and other people are saying, hey, man, I want to know more about it. I'm like, what do you want to know? Ask.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do is ask.
All you got to do is ask.
Yeah.
You got nothing to hide.
Exactly. And every time you say Detroit, I just want to go, put your hands up for Detroit. I love that city.
I don't know. I've never been there. It'll be my first trip.
Oh, dear. Anyway, right, guys. So last weekend, you and Rick went out and you was going to do a little bit of urban myth hunting, weren't you?
Yeah, we got a little sidetracked.
Oh.
EERUN.
Beer run. B-E-E-R-U-N. Beer run.
I thought you said weed run then. In my head, I was like, pardon? But you're going to put that out on air?
Hell, if I wanted to do a weed run, I'd do a weed run. But no, that's not my thing. I do like a nice cold beer.
So you didn't actually do the urban myth hunting that you was going to?
No, but we have before, and I had forgotten that Rick had been over there to the Lady in White Series with it before, but there's so much more coming up with that also. Me and Jason's been talking about it for a while. Me and Lee's been talking about it for a while. God, we're going to be filming some of that. We're going to be putting it out there. We haven't decided how we're going to film it, whether we're going to make episodes for the Paranormal Mysteries, whether we're going to do it just on a Facebook thing, whether we're going to do it on a YouTube channel. But everybody keeps asking us, when you guys going to put this stuff out? When you going to put this stuff out? I'm like, are you serious? Okay, let's go with it. Why
not?
Yeah, it's on a roll. We're just, like you said earlier, we put, and as Callie Sherrill always says, put it out to the universe and see what comes back to you. Well, I threw it out there, and look what's come back, and then let's go.
Yeah, fantastic. And I hope you're all of you, everybody involved, are going to be part of the sharing and caring event for Parasearch Radio.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
That's one thing I got to say. No matter what all these other adventures go on and stuff, and I'm having a blast with them, and they're taking up a lot of my time. My heart still blows right here with Paramania and Parasearch. I love doing the podcast. I truly do. That's such a thing that I look forward to every week. So don't think that I'm going to get too out there the other way, because I keep telling everybody all the time I got a face for radio and a voice for TV, and the two should never get together.
So let's talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to delve a little into a bit of crypto. Not my field normally.
So this is going to be all Jay Lynch.
So this is going to be all Jay, because Jay's the crypto man on the team, isn't he?
You guys give me an ego boost. Well, with the three of us, yeah. If I have some other people here. I mean, Lee's into the cryptos too. So.
Right.
And cool. Jason is.
So I read a really brief article the other day about the Mothman, and that intrigued me a little bit, because I thought, it's a weird thing. And then there were things like it was a heron. I mean, how big are the herons in America?
Big.
They can be very large.
Yes. They can have wingspans
7 foot.
Yeah, they can have wingspans of 7 to 8 feet across.
My word. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's not normal. But they can be that big.
I was going to say, that's a huge bird.
Yeah, some of us always do exceed the normals. Oh.
I was wondering, is it a bit like when you go fishing and the fisherman catches like a tiny little fish but says it was like this big, and it's not. I did wonder if it was a little bit like that with this. Because I was like, really? Birds don't get that. Imagine trying to fit that in your oven for like Christmas dinner.
It's mainly legs.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, there's not a lot to the body. It's got a lot of neck, too, because, I mean, you got to have a long neck to reach down to the bottom of those long legs.
Yeah.
So like the giraffe bird world.
So
that's a good analogy.
Yeah. This Mothman thing, then. Tell me about Mothman, man.
Oh, Mothman is a usually is a sign of doom. It's something that people usually see before some kind of catastrophe. Of course, the most popular one everybody talks about is down at Point Pleasant, Ohio, when the bridge collapsed from between Ohio.
Silver Bridge.
Yeah, between Ohio and Virginia. So, I mean, a lot of people lost their lives. It was spotted several times before that. You know, people kept getting reports of it to the police and things, and it's supposed to be
but nobody knew why. At that point, that was because that was the first sighting of it, and since then it's been they've linked it to 4 that I know of that I just read.
Yeah, it's part of West Virginia.
Is it West Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's and actually down there in Point Pleasant and the other town, they have a big Mothman festival every year. They got a giant statue of it in town and stuff. We've never made it. We talked about going the last 2 years. We haven't made it. Hopefully I'll make it this year.
I hope so. It'd be intriguing to go down there.
I would love it. And I want to go to the ammo dumps. To where they used to store the ammo and everything, where the Mothman was first sighted, and also they think that he actually stayed and lives there. But a lot of people don't know that the Mothman isn't just associated with there.
Right, he's been seen all over the world.
All over the world. Actually, he said something kind of sighting in the UK.
Yeah, there was a sighting in the UK of it. But with that as well, There was links, believe it or not, to a UFO sighting at the same time.
Oh, really?
That doesn't surprise me, because there's so many people that believe a lot of these creatures are interdimensional or alien. So to say that you have a sighting of one of these cryptid creatures and have some form of ufology along with it and stuff is not a stretch of the imagination to me. With it always being associated with being one of those two anyway, or interdimensional travelers, so it would have to be something more scientifically or based along farther than we are to be able to travel through dimensions.
I'm going to think about this realistically for a moment.
Oh shit!
If they thought, very nice. If they thought that the Mothman was staying in those ammo dumps down there, wouldn't they have found some kind of remains or scat or something?
But why would you? You didn't even have to prove that it was
But if they're saying he was living there,
okay,
he's got wings. They're saying he's real. He's not a bot. So then he would have to eat. Therefore, he would have to relieve himself.
It's a cryptid creature, though, and what if it is interdimensional? What if it doesn't have to stay there? I mean, they're saying that staying there. They have no proof of that whatsoever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if he stayed, if they're saying that he stayed there, you would think that you would have some kind of proof of something that you don't know what ate Timmy's dog, or whatever.
Well, but you're going to the point that you would have to have some kind of proof. Then same thing with anything else. The Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, the New Jersey Devil. We can just keep naming them. Where's your actual proof then like that, if it's there living? That doesn't take away from the sightings whatsoever.
No, I'm not saying it takes
the
away
absence
from
of
the
evidence
sightings.
is not absence of existence.
I'm not saying it's taking away from the sightings. I'm saying that if people are saying that, hey, it lived in these ammo dumps, they don't say where the Jersey Devil lived.
But this is it. That's a claim. They say that it lived there. Nobody has proof of that. So it's just a claim. It's urban legend.
Okay. Okay.
It's like they said. Richard said in the chat room there that American servicemen reported quite a few sightings during the Vietnam War too of seeing Mothman.
Oh wow!
And then Max said Mothman is actually a warning of bad things to come, as it set up on the bridge in West Virginia before the collapse to warn people to stay off the bridge. It actually was noted to be supposedly being seen before 9/11, before Chernobyl, and what was the other one we talked about just a little bit ago?
Yeah, the swine flu epidemic.
Swine flu epidemic. Yeah, they said there was sightings of it before the swine flu epidemic ever happened.
Okay, so right, if this is a harbinger of doom, yeah.
I'm so glad you said that word and I didn't screw it up again.
Now, the eyewitness statements at the time, now bear in mind this is back in the 1960s, right? They said they saw a large grey creature whose eyes glowed red, and they said it was a large flying man with 10-foot wings and webbed feet. That was their description of it, yeah?
Yep.
Right.
Now, I've heard of other forms of warnings, but not, I mean, that's a bit bizarre, isn't it? That is a bit of a bizarre thing to be a harbinger of doom. But then in your head, actually, if you think about it in your head, that image is almost very, I hate to say this word, but it conjures up like a very demonic image, doesn't it? The head went back.
You said it.
Oh, yeah, you said it. You brought it. But there's all kinds of that. But there's all kinds of theories of the Point Pleasant thing, because some of them even claim that it might have been a portal that actually caused the collapse of the bridge, because before that actually happened, there was not only reports of a Mothman creature, but it was also coupled with reports of UFOs, poltergeists, and bizarre light phenomenon. So there's some people saying that it was actually something to do with a portal, which would be interdimensional.
Or could it just be? Could it be the
devil made me do it?
No, because you know I'd never go down that route. But the energy, the psychic frequency energy of an impending disaster, is coming. People are picking up on that, and it's just manifesting in a way that people would resonate with.
Well, now, aren't there also claims from psychics that, like, pick up for disasters that are pending, like before 9/11?
Yeah.
You know, several psychics said, you know, they can't put their finger on it. Something bad is coming. They don't know what it is. It seems like
Nostradamus talked about it.
Yeah, I mean,
almost like a precog.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be true. Nostradamus wrote about it.
Oh, shut up.
But that's what I mean. This psychic energy that people are picking up on, something bad's coming, something bad's happening, or going to happen, is actually manifesting itself in these kind of forms. I mean, there are loads of different forms that take place. I mean, the black shark in the UK is supposed to be a harbinger of doom.
The black shark?
Shark. It's a big black dog, basically.
Oh.
So basically the black dog over here.
Right.
Truck drivers have seen it and stuff where they wreck and all this stuff. They actually what they did is they either fell asleep or something like that, and they woke up, and of course they had to swerve real quick because there was a big black dog with red eyes in the road, and they had wrecked.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, fly in my face. That's not good, is it?
Too bad the camera was on. That would have been funnier than hell.
It would have.
That's it. We're going to do a show one time. We actually have the cameras on, and people can actually see us as we talk.
So it is Dave in the chat room has just put, it's just death appearing to convey the dead to heaven. Could it be that? That's a bit harsh. Normally we have a Grim Reaper with a scythe, don't we?
Wow.
That could be a point, though. I mean, what if it was? What if it was a Grim Reaper or something like that, but people mistook it for something else?
Possibly. Who knows? It's one of those really strange ones. What I find more fascinating is where this originally happened in the 60s. This happened. They've made there's a whole tourism. Mind you, haven't said that. It's so different from the Loch Ness Monster. There's a whole tourist industry now around something that happened ages ago. You know, there hasn't been a sighting of Nessie, not like a really credible one, for so long. And yet there's shops you can buy like teddy bears of Nessie and, you know, all sorts of things you can buy from the, you know, surrounding the Loch Ness Monster. And they've done the same with the Mothman. I can't believe there's a festival.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They've really parlayed it into a... But actually, it's the biggest money maker for the town the entire year.
I was going to say they capitalized on it.
Because most of the town downtown, if you go actually on YouTube and you check it out on YouTube and things, you see that most of the time of the year, most of that town is pretty much quiet, and some of the shops are almost all closed and things like that. It's a dying town, except for the once a year when the Mothman Festival, they book out.
Flood in.
Oh, they book it out like crazy.
You can't get a hotel anywhere close by.
Wow. Even it's a bit like Roswell, isn't it? They have a massive like festival and that all surrounding the UFO crash landing in Roswell. Yeah, they've made their town on the industry that this myth, or whatever you want to class it as, you know, surrounding that. I find that fascinating. Incredibly enterprising. I will give them 10 out of 10 for enterprising.
Well, you know, absolutely taking a tragedy and making the money off of it and keeping the town alive. It's amazing. Smart. Teresa won't let me move there and open up a shop.
Mothman?
The hotel there, the old hotel is booked, 2 weeks in advance? And
yeah, people stay there.
And it's usually booked up for that week of Mothman, and like 2 years to 3 years are pre-booked in advance for that week to stay in that one hotel with supposedly with one of the people from the Mothman was stayed or something like that. I can't remember all the details of it, but the one old hotel in there just, I mean, this is, if you want a room in that hotel during the Mothman Festival, you want to book it now for 2 to 3 years down the road.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it's got a lot of paranormal activity to it. We know some friends of ours that's been there and stayed there, not during the festival, but went there after the festival and stuff and have stayed there and investigated.
And this year's festival is September 9th or 15th and 16th.
Oh, shit. We're already booked that weekend. We're not going again.
We'll just have to make a special trip down there.
To be fair, though, this Mothman has been seen not just in Point Pleasant, has it? It's been seen across the world. There's been various accounts now. Now, do we think then that is just a copycat thing, or do we think that it is actually being seen more globally than originally thought? It just Point Pleasant was like the first instance.
I think it was seen before that. There's actually reports before that, but none as well talked about as those were. Mm-hmm. It was just like one or here or there. Like somebody said they saw something, one person. It was supposedly saw quite a lot before the Chernobyl disaster. And the only one I have a problem with is the swine flu and the 9/11. Most of those reports come in after the tragedy happened. People said that they saw it. There was no reports before, where Chernobyl and Point Pleasant, there was reports of sightings before the tragedies happened. So it kind of changes things a little bit to me. When you only have reports of people coming, oh, I saw this before this ever happened. Okay, did you really? You're just trying to add something to it because you're freaked out. You're trying to justify it in your mind. No, it's one of those mind over matter things again.
I was going to say, that's the trouble, isn't it? Is if wow, I did see the harbinger of doom before that happened, but the events happened. So you go, well, when did you see it? Give me a verifiable fact. If you mentioned it before the event happened, then it makes it more credible. But now you're saying it's almost like you're trying to jump on that sensationalism bandwagon.
Right. It's always when they have it come up after the facts and not before the facts. It kind of like, to me, it negates everything. Just you might as well even bring it up then.
True. So, okay. So I find crypto probably one of the hardest to get my head around, quite frankly, because I'm a bit like Teresa on this one. I like, if they're real things, they would leave some form of evidence, physical evidence, more than a ghost or a spirit, obviously.
Right.
But that depends on their presence and how it is. That's like most of the people go with this. They go with that they're either a interdimensional traveler or they're an alien or something like that. Where I tend to take to the thing and associate with something I'm more familiar with, which got me in a lot of trouble with a lot of the crypto people when I first got involved. And if I was making fun of it, though, I tend to think it's more of a natural thing, more of an elemental. And if they're here, they're here for a reason. They're here for the earth and not us. So I'd always say if you were a large creature like, I don't know, Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot or Dogman or Mothman, and you see how destructive humans are to this planet, right. how anything that we're threatened by we destroy, would you want your presence to be known to us? Would you want to leave evidence so they could find you? Hell no. People are assholes. They're going to, no. I want to be left the hell alone.
Oh, sorry.
And then we lost the host.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We can't lose our hostess. Listen to her laugh and scoff at me.
Sorry. Bloody fly! I tell you, it's driving me crazy. Sorry,
this week on
smack it.
Radio Show, what happened?
I know, honestly, I've got this massive blue ball. It's not even a little one. It's one of those massive ones, and it keeps coming back at me. I suppose you can't hear it buzzing.
Jason just says in the chat room too. He says, "Do ghosts leave that evidence?" No, they don't. They don't.
No, they don't. That's right. But we're talking. We're talking.
They're saying. Yeah,
sorry.
Carrie and I are on the same lines here. They're saying that this is an actual thing.
Okay, but along the lines of that, now let's get into this. Okay, you guys are taking this in a whole different direction because now I'm going to play devil's advocate. I get you're saying there with the ghost, but a lot of the other things that you guys do in the paranormal world are supposed to be actual things. Incubus, succubus, you will keep naming things like that. They're supposed to be actual things too. Why don't they leave? If I get a succubus, why doesn't it leave a hickey somewhere or a succubus? I mean, you get the same thing here. So you're only looking at the presence of what you're talking about with a spirit. I'll give you that because the spirit doesn't have actual form. But all these other things in the paranormal that you guys talk about and all the demons, all this stuff, they supposedly have physical forms also. Why don't they leave the same evidence then? They got to eat too. Why don't they leave scat around?
Okay, so...
Can you imagine finding a pile of demon shit?
All right, okay. No, I'll take your point and I'll come back at you on that point.
Oh, God, I love this show when it gets like this.
If you had a case of something like an incubus or a succubus, you could do physical tests on the person to see the physical change within the person, correct?
Right.
So surely that would back up It wouldn't prove an incubus or succubus, but it would prove that there was a physical effect of something happening.
You've proven a physical effect that something has happened. You still have not found any credible evidence to prove that it was an incubus or succubus.
I didn't say that. I just said you found a physical response to something that's gone on. But you can't prove a physical response or other than somebody saw something, and we know how unreliable our eyes are.
But why? But same thing with these things here. You don't know what kind of what. How do you know what their scattering thing like that's going to look like? How do you know that you didn't already find it and you just stepped on top of it because you know what the hell it was?
True, but at least there'd be something. And if you're a good tracker, you'd know the difference between a bear or a heron or a
absolutely. But I
know that.
Absolutely, and I will not deny that one bit. But I've never in my life tracked a Bigfoot. I've never saw one. I've never actually saw a dogman to know exactly what his tracks or exactly what his scat's going to look like. I've seen all these other creatures because you're now comparing realistic creatures to the things that we can't prove. It goes the same with the ghosts and succubus and incubus and all the other things. You can't prove any of those. You know that they're truly there, but you cannot prove any form of it.
Well, I don't know that they're truly there. I've never come across a succubus or an incubus. I mean, I've dealt with spirit, but not those other folklore forms, as it were.
My brother Jason Arthur's in the chat room on Facebook, and he's like, "Let's do this.
Let's bring it on."
Yeah.
He's also an exorcism. So.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much of this that we can't prove on either side. So that's the one thing that gets me, and that's why I opened up my mind to a whole lot of things and got involved with doing the cryptids. First off, it's fascinating to me, just like the paranormal is, just like ufology. But that's why I started checking all these other things because this conversation happens every time you get a group of them together. The ghost people saying, well, you should be able to find proof. And this cryptid people's like, so should you. You're naming just as much uncredible proof that we are. You can't prove that that's what that is. You cannot, without that, physical form, the physical change, absolutely. You can't prove that's what that caused by. You absolutely cannot prove that. The majority of that is based upon your own interpretation of your evidence and also based upon a lot of your own personal beliefs and your own personal religion. You won't find too many other religions outside of Christianity, Judaism, and Islamic that will say demons. A lot of the others don't even recognize heaven or hell. So, who's right?
Okay.
Bam!
Fair point, to be fair. That's a fair point. However, surely, in regards to some of the crypto animals that are out there, I'm thinking more, and I say this is not my topic, guys, so I'm pulling out tiny pieces of information from God knows where. The chupacabra, whatever the bloody name of that thing is.
Chupacabra.
Thank you. Isn't that supposed to have attacked things? Surely, if it's attacked something, we could collect a DNA sample, which would then give us an inkling as to what the DNA makeup was and whether or not we could identify it as an unknown animal.
So far, every claim of being an attack of a chupacabra that has had DNA testing has proven beyond a shadow of doubt that it was not. It was a known creature. One of the best ones I ever saw that would be the most identifiable to be what somebody would think was a chupacabra was not even that. It was actually a brown bear that had the mange.
It was hairless.
It had lost all its hair. It had big boils and sores all over it and stuff. It looked absolutely disgusting. A lot of them are actually coyotes or wolves that's got mange or other things like that, or if they gotten into some poisoning. Just like when people, the Mad Hatter, he got into mercury. When he used to use mercury to put on the hats, it would drive them crazy before they would die. Animals get into things like that. It happens to them too. So it's been proven that a lot of these things so far have not had any proof beyond a shadow of a doubt that these things were something that was not already known. So far, everybody have any kind of DNA proof has proved that what they were. Just like your lady with the werewolf in the United States, or supposedly just killed. It was a wolf hybrid.
Mm.
It wasn't a werewolf. It was a wolf hybrid. Mm-hmm. So it was larger than most wolves. I guess somebody had bred a wolf with like a bull mastiff or something like that. It was huge. Its head was a little bit different than a wolf's head. It was thicker like a dog's and stuff. And it ended up being a known creature. It was a hybrid that somebody had bred. So
do we think then it's just a case of misrepresentation, not knowing what you're seeing. So you come across a big animal or a big bird in the middle of the night, like this heron thing with this Mothman. We all know that animals' eyes light up in car headlights. I mean, look at a cat. Look at a cat's eyes; they go green, don't they, in car headlights?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And look, and
Is it
deers
something
can go
like
kind of a
that?
red color too.
Yeah.
Deer's eyes can go kind of a red color. They also get to green too. Depends on the angle of the light.
Exactly. So couldn't it not just be something like that, like a Bigfoot, right? I mean,
or like a ghost, or like a incubus or succubus or a demon or anything else. It could be our minds.
It could be a manifestation from our own minds, exactly,
right.
Or a misrepresentation of something you've seen that is actually a physical animal that we know about. I mean, Richard has said crypto creatures can be driven by popular culture. For example, he's willing to admit or accept that there could be something lurking in the Pacific Northwest. However, there is a group in the UK that believe that Bigfoot are here in the UK, which, when you look at how tiny our little country is compared to the vast forests that you've got over there, I think we would have noticed it a lot more than you guys would have.
I'm actually following a group on Facebook that is the Irish Bigfoot research team. They are in Ireland. They are in Ireland researching the Bigfoot and saying there's sightings in Ireland.
Oh my word.
There is a group out there that's doing it. I follow along with them. I get involved. But I get involved with anything and everything. I mean, people send me requests for something, I usually go check it out. If it's something that stays interesting, so like that, I stay along with it. If it doesn't, I kind of move on.
So then, if Bigfoot is an interdimensional
Captain
creature,
Chris is in there sipping drinks right now. Hey, Captain Chris, you best be pouring me one too, son, before you come inside the studio here, brother.
If Bigfoot is an interdimensional creature, it would make sense that he could go to whatever country he wanted.
Well, yeah, that's true. But couldn't it just be like a really large person who's a bit hairy and decides to live in the wild in the middle of the forest?
My brother.
You know?
Carl,
there's some incredibly tall people. You've only got to look at Luke Walker. I mean, he's what, 7 foot?
Right.
Yeah. Long hair. Looks like Thor.
You know, take him, put him in the woods to live like completely off grid and in the woods. It'd have bear skins and stuff as you know, I'm assuming. I don't know. It'd have some, make his own cut.
He said that new species are being found all the time around the world, in the Amazon jungle and in the depths of the ocean of the world. And it's true. I mean, we're finding animals that we didn't even know anything about.
Or we thought had been extinct. But that's in very thick, a lot of they haven't explored all of the Amazon.
Well, we haven't. There's people in there that we don't know about.
They certainly
have
really not explored the depths of the ocean, all of it. So, but we're talking about the island of England.
Okay, Ireland.
Or Ireland, that...
I got it.
Got that flying little pest.
Yeah, I got that.
It's not very large. So you would think that if something was there, you would see it.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it is the interdimensional creature, like people have said. Like people have said.
Mm-hmm.
Then it could just pop in and pop out wherever it wants to.
Jason says, "Define Bigfoot." What is Bigfoot? Define.
Oh God.
A large biped.
A large hairy
biped that's supposedly across. But see, where I get with my thing with being with along the lines of the elementals thing like that. Every culture in this country, every culture around this world, if you go back to even cave drawings, everybody has some depiction of something like that. All their own, not whether it's cave drawings, whether it's chiseled into rocks, whatever. Every ancient culture has some depiction of some large bipedal hairy creature like that. So therefore, there has to be some semblance of truth to it, or everybody would, because they had no communication with one another back then. Right. They had no way to contact one another. People in South America has no idea what's going on in Europe or in Asia. So, and the Chinese have, supposedly, one of the Chinese sailors, they used to keep them on their ships. That's some of the urban legends about them, that they kept them to help defend the ship and things when they were traveling in the ocean. And they actually brought them to the United States and turned them loose over here to populate the U.S. Before Columbus ever thought about coming here, 300 years before that.
I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah. Tribes of North America, the Cherokee actually called them the Blue Men. And supposedly they would raid their villages and would take the women and children. They actually fought wars against them and things. They were actually complete tribes.
Blue Men?
The Blue Men. It's what they refer
not
to.
Like the Blue Men.
Oh, we're not on the Blue Men again.
No.
But to be fair,
part of the Cherokee.
Well, when we was looking into giants for a previous show, on Parasearch, we actually came across a legend that the Native Americans actually came down from South America, came across the land bridge, fought the giants, killed off the giants, and then took over America themselves.
That sounds awful familiar to the Irish taking over that land, don't it? Fighting off the
Tuatha De Danann.
Yeah, I always mess that word up. All right, that's another one of those words, kind of like the one we said earlier about being a prophecy of doom.
So there are legends that, races that had powers that then got wiped out by another race that, then took over the land. It's quite common. And God, you only got to look at more recent history, haven't you?
Yeah, look at the United States alone. We decimated the Native Americans just about completely out, and it wasn't with our firearms either. It was with our disease. It's with the colds and the flus that we brought to them that they didn't have any immune system to. That killed off more than anything else. It wasn't the wars. So it's not fathoming, and we've been doing it as a culture, not as a culture, but as people since the beginning of time. How many look through all history where this people comes in and raids that people's territory and takes it over and simulates them in and or takes them as slaves or whatever. So why would it not be fathomable that we destroy things like that also?
Because if they're still there, we would have found them. Not so much. I get the vastness.
I don't think so.
No, I get it in America because you are so vast. But if you come to the UK, the space is so much smaller. If there was something big living in the UK, like a Bigfoot or a Bigfoot.
They can spot fairies, but they can't find a Bigfoot. So
who says they spot fairies? That's another claim. Prove that.
That's true.
That's another claim. Prove that. It's like okay. When I got involved with the North American Dogman Project, it quickly started looking like it wasn't going to be the North American Dogman Project because we had more sightings come out of the UK at that time, 4 years ago, than what we did anywhere else.
Mm.
The UK was a hotspot. In fact, Alice Cooper's big time into it. And he was getting ready to fund a team to go over there and check out some of the claims that was going on in the UK.
Mm.
Of course, I submitted my name. I'll go with Alice Cooper. Hell
yeah. Hell yeah. We're trying to get Alice on a show at this moment in time. Poor old Kaz. She's hunting that poor man down. She'll be very lucky, I think. I also class, like when we talk about fairies and things like that, I see that as a folklore mythology. It's not. Yes, people have personal experiences still to this day with them, but not like you have on a crypto front. It just feels like it's a completely two different fields to me.
But that's where I come in with what I said. What if they're all part of the elementals? Because fairies are also be considered part of the elementals.
Are part of the elementals.
So what if the cryptids are too? What if Bigfoot's the gardener and Dogman's the protector and Loch Ness is the one that protects the water and stuff? What if these are all part of the elementals that we as human beings, because we've gotten so greedy, so selfish, and so controlling that we've lost contact with the earth, and they've lost contact with us and they don't want contact with us until we pull our heads out of our ass and start taking care of our damn planet? What if?
What if indeed? I don't know. So this is not my specialized subject, everybody.
And that's when the crypto people look at me and go, you're just making fun of us. No, I'm not. I'm asking a question.
No, because surely the crypto people then, if they're not listening to that perspective, surely they're going on, they're real animals, we can capture one or we can find physical evidence. That's the main point of focus, is it, for the majority of crypto people?
Right. Now there's in the cryptos, you have three people. You have the people that think they're interdimensional travelers. You have the people that think they're some form of alien. And you have the people that think they're an actual living physical creature that's on this planet and has always been on this planet and is a part of it. We're just not smart enough to get them yet. And if they're that intelligent and they've been hiding this entire time, we're not going to catch them until they're ready to make themselves known to us.
Right. So if they've been hiding all this time in their physical things, why would they make themselves known to us when we're basically destroying the planet?
Absolutely.
Okay, throw it out there then. Say you did come across a Bigfoot, you managed to capture one. What would happen? Generally, the human race are very destructive. It'd probably be shot, for one, because you Americans love a bit of shooting, don't you?
No. I got in trouble all the time when I went out in the field with the dog boys because I didn't even carry a machete. I carried nothing but my normal pocket knife. A lot of them, the guys, just want to get their CCWs, they want to carry this, want to carry that. I have absolutely no intentions of causing any harm to these creatures if I ever encounter one. None whatsoever. If I have to defend myself, that's a different thing. I'm pretty well screwed because all I got is a little 3-inch pocket knife, so looks like who's going to be dinner. But I don't think...
With the dog man, they said that they've shot him at point blank range.
Yeah, there's claims with an AR-15.
Yeah, and he was
not
hurt.
It just bounced off of him.
Bounced off of him like he's Superman. So anything that you could carry out there isn't going to hurt him. All it's going to do is just piss him off.
Allegedly. That's one personal... one person. But is that the main focus then, to capture or just prove through hair or scat or, a footprint? That's not really, is it?
Good question, Max. Could humans actually be a Sasquatch alien hybrid? Absolutely could be. We have no proof of anything else. So this is just like any other film of the paranormal. There's no evidence to disprove or prove either theory out there. And everything that we do in the paranormal is the same as the cryptids. It's all theoretical based because we have absolutely no proof. And they're all just as true as the other one because even our theories are just that. And some of them are only a hypothesis. We have nothing to base anything off of them to make them even to the theoretical stage.
Jason said, you see what happened when we captured King Kong.
Well, we'd need a pretty blonde, wouldn't we? Tie her to a rock,
My goal when I'm out in the woods looking for these things, my goal is to absolutely find, if I can find a species, then I can continuously find that species, to know its habitat, to know its range. I'm not going to tell anybody shit. I'm going to keep it quiet for a long, long time. And when I do bring somebody in, it's only going to be people that I trust because I want nothing to come harm of this because we finally got a chance to finally learn something and make that contact. It's no different when you go someplace new. You don't go in just busting in the door and try to take control of the room. You introduce yourself. You communicate. It's not about, for me, it's not about that. And to me, the people that want to unlikely see one and put it down and destroy it and kill it and all this other stuff, they're the same guys that call hunting a game and call it a sport and want to put a trophy on the wall. It's not a game. It's not a sport. It's a life.
So is the majority of the crypto world then in the same mind, or are they of the mind of we will get a pure carcass to prove it?
A lot of them want proof, period, no matter how they get it.
Live or dead.
Living or dead, they don't give a shit. It's like they got the Old West now, and they got a dead or alive sign on their heads, and I don't believe in that. I used to hunt. I haven't hunted in years. I firmly believe that if you're going to kill something, it's for the right reasons. It's not just because it's a sport or a game. It's part of the life cycle. They're part of the life cycle as well. Unless you're going to, I just don't believe in that. I never have, and I never will. If you're going to hunt or something like that, this is for your life. It's not for a sport. It's not for a game. It's not for proof.
It's for food for your table, for your family.
Mm-hmm.
For clothing.
So I just take a different perspective of it. I get in a lot of friends with my friends I used to hunt with. I used to get in trouble with them because of the perspective that I took. I have a big thing about conservation as part of hunting because we killed off all the natural predators. And it's like, everybody talking about, if there's a dogman and a Bigfoot out there, a dogman's going to be strictly a carnivore. Well, man, if he was that big, he was 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot tall and several hundred pounds and all this stuff and all this extreme strength and muscles. Do you know the amount of protein he would have to be consuming every single day? We would find carcasses like crazy. Even a bear doesn't eat that much. They're omnivores. They eat more fruits, berries, and nuts and things like that than they ever do meats.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we're not looking in the right place because everybody thinks they're big carnivores, so we're looking for all this heavy scat when it's not actually that. It's more vegetation because they're omnivores or they're opportunists.
Well, I just think if it's that big, you know how much a horse produces.
Right.
But then again, you're looking at it in the essence of it being an unintelligent creature. if it's been able to exist this entire time on this planet and not make itself known or be captured by us, then it's smart enough to know that it's got to bury its feces. It's smart enough to know that it's got to cover its trail. It's smart enough to keep it away from us, and it knows that it's got to stay away from us. And the only way to do that is to cover every sign of it.
Except it allegedly bangs rocks that people hear.
Yeah. It bangs rocks and it picks up baseball bats and beats them on a tree. and no disrespect to those people. That's what they think they are experiencing, and good for them. Just like when you're paranormal investigating, you think you're experiencing something, whether you are or not. Someone else might be around the corner making that damn sound, or it might be
But to you, it's happening and it's live. It's true.
Exactly. So until you actually find one beating on the tree with a stick, you can't prove that that's happening. And
I always have visions of like one group of hunters out one side of the forest, another like 3 or 4 miles away, and they're all banging rocks to try to attract, and they're actually talking to each other rather than it actually being.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guarantee you that's happened. I damn well guarantee
There's no way you can say we're the only people in this area.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly your areas. I mean, yeah, even the woods in the UK, you wouldn't be able to say that there was nobody else in the woods at that time.
And you're right, Jason. You could do these things and people still wouldn't believe it. Just like the paranormal evidence, you can capture a Class A EVP and put it out there for even other investigators, and they will absolutely degrade it and rip it apart. Nobody. That's why we did the co-op with Jason and Lee, because we're tired of that thing. People need to be more open-minded, more supportive, and it's not just in the paranormal; it's all the paranormal. And I consider the paranormal to include cryptid, ufology, and all that things, because by definition, paranormal, anything outside the norm that you cannot explain scientifically yet. So that covers all that shit.
Oh, I don't disagree with you there. I totally agree with you there.
Yep, spirits make noises as well. Jason's right there too. So what if? And that was the perspective that I wanted to bring to the table when we wanted to do cryptid research, because David Jones is also a paranormal investigator and stuff. And when we went to some of these Dogman and things like that, where or even to Mothman, we could do a cryptid research on it. But then later on, we could also add in a paranormal investigation to it, and especially with all the urban legends about Indians and interacting with like with them like that.
Why would it have to be two separate investigations? Why couldn't you combine the two?
You can.
Okay.
But I wanted to actually get a hold of somebody who spoke Cherokee and have them come in and ask questions, because if they actually had these interactions with the Dogmen and actually had the interactions with the Bigfoot, having battles and wars and all that stuff, have them ask for their own ancestors to answer questions and be able to translate it, because they're not going to understand me asking questions in English. I don't believe the whole TV thing where if I go to Germany and I ask questions that all the German ghosts are going to speak English now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that, because
you need somebody that can speak that dialect.
We had that happen to us here.
Yes, we did.
On an investigation. We were asking questions, and the lady said, it was a private investigation. The lady said, well, let me ask a question. Do you mind? And she asked a question in German, because she and her father talked in German to each other.
And got her answer in German.
And we got an answer across the spirit box in German.
And she liked it shit, because she said that was my dad. And this is what and that was, And it was like, holy shit.
I do know a team that actually used Old English. They spoke in the way that they would have spoken back in the rather than, hi, how are you? Because they wouldn't have resonated with that way of speaking, so they weren't going to talk. So the lady in question actually put out in Old English of how they would have spoken back in the day. She got a much better response.
I always want to try to do those things.
Wow. And Max said he would think that if a Sasquatch is killed and it has human DNA, could you go to prison for killing it?
Why wouldn't you?
No, that's an interesting concept.
Why wouldn't you?
Right?
Why wouldn't you? It's murder now. You killed a person.
Right. You killed a human.
Oh, but you kill animals on a daily basis to eat food, and just because they don't speak the same language or have the same DNA as us doesn't change the fact that there's a living being. So should we all be vegans, or
That's so not going to happen. I tried.
But we don't kill other humans to eat.
No, we don't.
No, that's true. But what makes us the superior race? Oh, that's a whole different topic, isn't it? That's a whole ethical kind of. Oh, the animal activists will be up in arms over this conversation. But no, I agree. I think if it's got human DNA, then it does. It's murder.
Jason said yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. If it's got human DNA.
If it's got human DNA, I would think that it would be murder, and you could go to prison for that.
That'd be
I don't see the whole point in trying to take something that is such an archaic way of living the life on this planet to automatically think that we have to assert our dominance over everything. I think it's a coexistence of this planet. I'm totally been with that. Even when I was still out hunting and farming and all that stuff, I was always about conservation. It's always about only taking what you need to preserve your life, and because everything has its own life, but it's the cycle life. And to say that we don't need to kill other animals, then okay. I got into it one time with long time ago. PETA put out a big old thing about your dog should never and cats should never have to eat other animals, and they went with an all vegetarian pet food. And I'm like, okay, then who's going to pay for all the lions and the tigers and stuff like that? Because
okay,
everything eats something. We got less than 2 minutes left, so we need to round this up.
I know, that's amazing. That went quick.
No,
we went from Mothman to Bigfoot to chupacabras to I can't say that.
The chupacabras are in the Alpaca Mountains.
They're in the Alpaca Mountains with the alpacas.
And don't go nowhere, anybody. Don't go a damn place. Stay and listen, because I guess Chris and Wayne's coming on next, and they got a big announcement that said, don't go nowhere. Clear your calendars. Stick around. You see what they got to say.
Ooh, a big announcement. We're going to have an alpaca... I can't even say that. Guys.
Just say goodnight. Just say goodnight. We love y'all.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.